Hello, humans! It's Rob here with Not a Robot Podcast, DC Comics Review Show number 136. What number of Batman are we at right now? Are we, tied? No, we're at 133, I
We're
think.
close. I think it's like
We're
130,
close.
yeah, 133 or 134.
I mean, at this point, we've far surpassed the Batman.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Not a Robot Never Dies. This is the world's greatest comic show about the world's greatest superheroes, and with me, as always, as you heard him, is Brandon.
Hello, hello, everybody.
And Josh.
Important question. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Don't answer that.
Could be here all night. So, if you do ever want to get in touch with us and tell us what you would do for a Klondike bar, or better yet, a Choco, send us an email to comics@notarobotpodcast.com, and you can talk to us on Twitter at notarobotcomics, view us at Instagram at NAR Comic Books, and you can support us at buymeacoffee.com/NAR Podcasts, where you can get access to our Discord server, and you can chat with us and other fans about all things geek. We talked about so much stuff this week, I can't even think of a single one.
Way lots.
Oh, yeah.
Everything
It was
from
a serious debate.
We've talked about everything from Star Wars to why No Cap is ridiculous.
Yeah. So as for the books this week, we are looking at Punchline the Gotham Game number 5, Stargirl the Lost Children number 4, Batman vs. Robin number 5, Action Comics number 1052, Harley Quinn number 27, and Detective Comics number 1069, as well as some honorable mentions. But before we get into that, as always, let's get into the news of the week. What's going on, guys?
Nothing too major. I was just telling Josh I finished reading Adventures of Superman John Kent number 1 shortly before we hopped on air. And he said, I hate you.
Such a braggart.
Yeah, I
Oh,
love to
I'm
brag.
jealous.
He's got the hookup.
Yeah. And I
I'm
was
so
saying
jealous.
confidentially, I won't spoil anything because I want you guys to read it, entirely blind. But all I will say is I really like the concept so far. I don't know if it's an excellent first issue, but I think it could be pretty fun just seeing how they execute it. As fun as a story like this can be.
Fair enough. That's still being billed as a 6-issue mini, right? If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
6 or 5. I don't remember exactly.
Something
but
like that,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm jealous. I didn't even realize it was coming out next week. I haven't looked at next week's books yet.
Yeah, no, it's the I guess the final big relaunch or launch of the new line of Superman books. So we have
Yeah.
Action, we have the main Superman title, and Adventures of Superman, which I
And we
mean,
got
considering
Superboy
I was
Man
gonna,
of Tomorrow still.
oh yeah, that's true, Superman Man of Tomorrow. I keep forgetting about that one. I think just because it was a round robin title, I still think of it as being part of that and not part of the Dawn of the DCU stuff. But I guess it is
Yeah.
technically.
I mean, Blue Beetle, I think, got upgraded to in continuity, and
Yeah.
that was round robin.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, I guess it just depends, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, I am sufficiently jealous.
I feel like you don't have
Yeah.
any reason to be jealous, and I think you should tell our listeners why.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. Because my count for Kyle Rayner is, for at least McFarlane Kyle Rayner, because I have another one
Yeah.
from the 90s, is up to 2. With my third one, the Blue Lantern, it was supposed to be here today, and I'm kind of bummed it's not, because they both shipped at the same time. About a month ago, I was listening to, and shout out to the Lantern Cast for putting me on this trail. I went to eBay because they said, don't skip on eBay. Sometimes you might find a deal. And I was one of those people that thought, eBay? Pff, that's like hundreds of dollars. I ain't got money to spend on that. I found a gold label 90s costume Kyle Rayner for basically cost. And
Oh wow.
that just arrived today. And I am super happy. It is beautiful. And my Blue Lantern Kyle Rayner is coming. It should be here this week. I have 4 Kyle Rayner figures. I have like 5 Hal Jordans, 2 John Stewarts, not a single Guy Gardner. I need to fix that.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been looking at those though. They're out
Yeah.
there, but damn,
They're
I
expensive
don't know.
though.
They are expensive.
Well,
Yeah.
which I mean, I don't know how many Guy Gardner figures there are necessarily, but
It's like
which one
2 or
would you
3.
want? I assuming probably a more modern one.
I think the last one that was issued was the Green Lantern, like home base line, like the DC Green Lantern line from
Okay.
like 2010.
Mm.
I think it was around that
Bowl
time.
cut?
I don't remember the exact year. No,
Yeah.
it was like his. No, it wasn't even a bowl cut. It was like his Green Lantern Corps look
Mhm.
during that era, and it had the shiny costume and everything. It looked really cool. There was a lot of cool figures. There was Saint Walker. There was all sorts of lanterns from all over the place. Yeah, one day. I even have like
One
I'm
day.
missing an Indigo and a Star Sapphire, and I have one member of every corps
Hmm.
as
That
well.
would be cool.
I can make my own.
Do they
New
even have an
Guardians.
Indigo figure?
Yeah, that's from the same line,
Really?
from the same
Oh.
Green Lantern line. Yeah, there's
yeah, I didn't know that.
Indigo 1, and there's Merc, and I think there's a Ray Palmer as well as an Indigo Lantern.
I know that I was about to say I know there's a Ray Palmer because that was actually a figure that I was extremely hungry for. But I
Yeah.
could just it was like impossible to find. It was one of those.
Oh, yeah.
It was like one of those Blackest Night line action figures that just
Mhm.
eluded me. But I could probably track it down somewhere. But I just love that design for Ray Palmer because
Yeah.
it's the
really cool.
fusion of like a lantern design plus his Sword of the Atom design, which I love.
Yeah. It was an interesting way to go about it, but when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense why they chose that design.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my big news. I'm ecstatic about
Nice.
that. Josh, you got anything exciting going on?
Not a whole lot. I'm not dead. I'm not gonna.
That's good.
be. The heart
Yes.
cath procedure went great. I have unusually small aorta, but apparently it's just the way I was built, not filled up with plaque or anything. So no stents, no nothing for that. Got a pulmonary function test I wasn't too happy about, but other than that, everything is honky dory, as they say.
It's good to
As
hear.
you
long
guys
as
got
it's
any-
not worse.
Right. Well, it's worse. My lung age used
Yeah.
to be 113 last time I updated you guys. Now it's 156.
Mm.
So,
Well, shit.
yeah. But hey, it's a perfectly healthy 156.
I mean, at least you have that. As Monty Python once said, always look on the bright side of life.
That's what I try to do, man.
Yeah.
You guys got any comic book news?
I got a little bit. And this
Well,
this
I was
actually
trying to remember what we talked about last week. but
yeah,
I couldn't.
this like during the podcast last week? For the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I've already deleted my notes too.
Yeah.
Mostly
Um,
comic books.
Yeah.
Mhm. They had the whole news about the Night Terrors event, but I don't know if we talked about that. So I kind of had that in my back pocket, and then I have something else not related to that at all.
I
Yeah, we
don't.
talked
I think
about how it
we
was revealed.
did. Yeah,
I feel like we did, and I wasn't sure,
Yeah.
but
but I think we ended up
Okay.
talking about it like halfway through the show. I could be wrong.
maybe yeah. I don't
Like
know.
one of us stumbled
Anyway,
upon
sorry.
it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing I got, and this sparked quite a debate for us. JSA and Fables, if you've noticed they've not been in the shops recently, that is because they are officially delayed until April. So look forward to those next month. Fables 158, I believe, and JSA number 3, I think is what we're at right now.
Yes. Set to use
As well
courage.
as Waller versus Wildstorm, apparently. I completely forgot about it. I know, I think you guys
Yeah.
did too.
Which that one I think has also
I
been delayed
definitely
because
did.
they changed the artist. Because I was at
Oh, okay.
New York Comic Con when that got announced, and the original artist attached to that was Eric Battle, but
Right.
new promotional material has it with Jesus Marino. So I think they literally just I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but I think they literally just have a new
Something.
artist attached to the project, which it happens.
That'll happen.
I'll take some Moreno though.
Yeah, why not?
Oh yeah.
I actually prefer Jesus Moreno to Eric Battle, so this is kind of a win for me.
I don't know if I know Eric Bato's art.
He did like, I mean, maybe it's changed, but I had seen some of his stuff. He did Green Arrow in the 2000s, and I was like, ooh, I don't know about this. It's like kind of rough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't too excited about that.
Oh,
Well, then it's a good
there's
thing.
yeah, good news. Apparently
Hmm.
that was supposed to come out in November, but now it's
Yeah,
slated. I don't remember what month it's supposed to. It's going to now. I think it's coming out this month, if not April again.
yeah, maybe. Not really sure though.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, there's some stuff to look forward to, if you're excited for
Hmm.
Waller versus Wildstorm. But
Yeah,
I imagine somebody is somewhere.
Well, hey, it's a
I'm sure.
Wildstorm book, so I'm in it.
Yeah, it's a Wildstorm book, but it's also an Amanda Waller book, and I don't know. I'm kind of like tired of Amanda Waller, to be honest with you.
Oh, Amanda Waller is never going anywhere, dude. I'd be
Yeah.
surprised if anything ever happened to her.
Hey,
Well,
she was
the
great
only
as
thing,
that character that just show up and mess with shit and swear at people and say, "Yeah, no, fuck you. The government says we're doing it." But
yeah,
to
Yeah.
be the lead character on a series of books and movies all in the same like half decade is a lot. There's only so
Well,
much
she always kind of
of
reminded
an
me
asshole I
of,
can take.
and yeah, she always kind of reminded me of, and I don't know how much you guys know about Marvel, but do you know who Peter Girich is?
Oh yeah.
no.
No, you talking
Peter
about
Girich, yeah, she
Gyrick? Peter Henry?
or Gyrick, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Peter Girich, or however you say it, but she always kind of reminded me of
I
that. Like
I
Peter
know from the
Girich is
90s.
like, yeah, he's like the bureaucracy guy. I mean, he's dead now, but like whenever he would
Yeah.
show up in Avengers or any other book, he's like the guy that represents the government and is like,
Yeah.
okay, you need to do this or whatever. And I feel like Amanda's kind of like that role too, where she just shows up and represents the USA and whatever they kind of need to say about a certain situation. So it shouldn't like you wouldn't have a book about Henry Gehrig like that would just I mean maybe it would be interesting I don't know but like I don't know how much people would really give a shit. I feel like
That'd be
characters
weird.
like that just sort of occupy a supporting role. They're not really starring
Yeah.
characters, but
Like
maybe it'll
most
be
of
good. I
my
don't know.
exposure for that character is the 90s X-Men cartoon. And
Yeah.
knowing how he was there, I would not care about a book or for a book about
Exactly.
him.
Like yeah, maybe if he was like kind of leading a team behind the scenes, but I don't know that that would necessarily want him to be the starring character or anything.
Yeah, some
Like
kind of
Striker.
Suicide Squad. No, wait,
Some
no,
kind of
that's not
Suicide
right.
Squad.
Yeah.
Maybe a Thunderbolts, except without the,
Thunder
trickery.
Thunder.
and the
But who
bolts.
knows? Yeah.
The Scroll Kill Crew. No, that's not. No, that's not it.
Yeah.
There's a new team out there somewhere for Guy. At least, no, okay, maybe not. He's dead, like you said.
Yeah.
It's too
It's
late
true.
for him. Yeah,
It's
I
too
didn't even
late. I
realize
mean,
he
they
was
can
dead.
bring him back, but yeah, he like literally just showed up at the end of Sword, I think it was, and got killed. It's kind of
Wow.
crazy. But honestly, dude had it
That
coming.
recent.
He's like one of the worst. Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah,
one of
he's
the
a
worst
total
people.
dick. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
how many times did he? Wasn't he the one that um, spearheaded the Sentinel initiative with the government?
Oh my God, yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
well, I think yeah, him
Was it?
and
I thought.
Stryker, and then
Yeah, I was gonna
there
say. I
was
thought
that
it was
whole
Stryker that did that.
Well,
yeah.
Stryker
I
army
think he might
side,
have been a
but
part of it.
Gyrick in with the like the
Yeah,
government side, with the bureaucratic
yeah,
stuff.
He must
and
have
it
annoyed me
had
so
like there was
much I
like that
don't remember
whole
him at all.
At least that's
there
how it
was
was
like
in the
that whole
'90s
plot.
cartoon.
Yeah, there's like that whole plot in Avengers where he's trying to get Falcon to join the Avengers because they needed more diversity, and it's like, oh my God, you are a terrible
Wait,
person.
Gyrick?
Yeah, Gyrick.
What the hell was he doing with the Avengers? I know, like, politician and whatnot, but his whole bag was the X-Men and mutants and how they're evil.
Yeah. Well,
What the
he
hell
I
was he
think he
doing
was
with the
originally
Avengers?
kind of like in he was originally in the comics, he was originally like an Avengers sort of it was like the government liaison to the Avengers or something like that.
Oh,
And
Like
had
Colson.
just sort of
I didn't know
always been
that.
that role where he's like the go-between basically. That's sort of what I mean where he's like he occupies that government role where he basically is just man who represents U.S. and interacts with superheroes occasionally.
Oh,
But he's
fair
not
enough.
like a senator or president or anything.
I thought he was wholly like a Claremont thing
Yeah.
during
Oh
his
yeah.
X-Men run.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
Well, the only piece of news I got is as of yesterday, the CBWU, the Comic Book Workers Union or United, is officially a union. They ratified yesterday. So
nice.
Mhm. Nice.
inside
That's a
of
good
Image,
thing.
that is the very first comic book union that I'm aware of, and
Yeah.
be interesting to see how that affects the industry. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping for the better because I mean, there's a lot of times where creative teams aren't getting paid, and shit, man, that's just not cool.
I'm vaguely reminded of a comic company. It was either a comic company or a game company just last year that slated a whole bunch of stuff and then didn't pay anyone and then they just went under.
Oh, oh, oh. Was it
I think
Aftershock?
they even was it? I don't remember the name. I just remember seeing the story how they commissioned a lot of work and then released it like 8 months late and didn't pay anyone and then they folded and whatever money they made
No,
they still didn't give it to the graders
no. I don't think
or
it's.
something
I
like
don't
that.
think it was Aftershock, but it was one of those asshole companies.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for comic book news today.
Hey, save the best for last unless there's anything else. I got nothing. Do I? Oh, I do
No.
actually in the
Well,
gaming
I just
world.
have one thing for anyone
Yeah,
who has been reading this universe, but
go for it.
the Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino, Bone Orchard Mythos universe, they've been doing a bunch of
Right.
horror-related titles and stuff like that, and they just announced their next installment, or officially announced. They've kind of like put out teasers and stuff, but officially announced their next installment in the series, a book called Tenement, which is going to be a 10-issue series starting in June, I believe. So that should be fun. All the books have been pretty great so far, so I'm looking forward to this next one.
Right on.
I mean, it's Jeff Lemire, so it's almost
Yeah.
guaranteed that it'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing I had is Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, that long-awaited video game that was
Yes,
announced around the same time as Gotham Knights.
yes, yes.
Some new info has come out about it, and it's
And
not good.
oh
It
fuck,
it is heavily games as a service model. There's plenty of microtransactions. There is some weird, and I'm honestly I haven't had a chance to go into all of the info personally. This is a lot of it's secondhand from friends of mine that were talking about it in another chat. Um, a constant internet connection. There's no offline play whatsoever. It is strictly multiplayer, so you have to play online with somebody else. If I understood that correctly,
that's fucked up.
it's stupid. If your internet goes down,
That
you can't
part is
play.
fucked up. Yeah,
That's
I
that's
mean,
very dumb.
microtransactions annoy the shit out of me, but I can deal with them as long as the stuff is purely cosmetic and it's not pay to win.
Yeah,
Then I
which it
don't. Then
probably is. That seems to be the model these days.
what, purely cosmetic or pay to win?
Cosmetic. I don't see this
Okay.
being like a game where it's pay to. I think pay to win is really only in the mobile world.
Well, yeah, for now.
Yeah.
I mean, cosmetic crates were only in the mobile world for a while too.
Yeah.
And that's disappointing. As far as the constant internet connection, I mean, they throw that shit in there to, combat piracy. But the fact that you can't get on there and play by yourself, that is fucking dumb.
Yeah. Like
That's
it
that's
almost
just
sounds very similar to Square Enix's Avengers, but at least that if your internet went down, you'd desync and then you'd still be playing.
right.
It wouldn't just like kick you out of the game completely, which
No,
I think
and
is
it would
very
resync
stupid.
when it connected back up.
Yeah, it would be very jarring because all of a sudden there's just people, but at least it would do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is not looking great. I had high hopes for this game, especially since Rocksteady and the Arkham trilogy, such amazing fucking games. But here we are. It's
They
unfortunate. I
were.
miss the days of just having a great single player adventure that wasn't glitchy as shit.
I'm bummed out, man. Dead
Yeah,
Space, the remake, is basically it's a better looking version of the original one. Callisto Protocol fucked right off. It's basically a game of bugs. Um, uh, Gotham Knights. I mean, I still play it, but it's like more like a time killer and than a great game at all. And
yeah,
I was really, really, really looking forward to Suicide Squad versus the Justice League, and
me too.
oh man,
At
you know
least we
what?
have that
There's gonna be
Wonder Woman
no
game to
more
look forward to.
pre-ordering in my house. We're just gonna have to wait until this shit releases.
That's the way to do it. That's honestly how you convince developers what people want and don't want. The only way to do it is convince with your wallet. And I get it, like developers will spend 2 3 years, sometimes more, developing a game, and they'll send it out, and then nobody's pre-ordered it. That's gonna feel pretty shitty. But if you're making a shitty game, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, or even if like I'm sure that this game is going to be good, but the model is bullshit.
I'm not
And
convinced it's even
just
gonna be good, but that's just me. I have an issue with like triple A titles, like a big focus on amazing graphics. I get the technology has improved over the past few years to decade, but when I was coming up and like high end graphics were all the rage, those games were also buggy as shit, and I couldn't stand it. I would sacrifice realistic gameplay all the time for just something fun. That's all I care about. I want a fun game. I don't need it to look like a fucking movie.
well, fair enough. I don't have the
Yeah.
hardware to make it look like a movie, but I did just start playing Hogwarts Legacy. I'm about 3 hours in, and as disappointed as I am that I can't run this shit on high, let alone ultra, I'm stuck on. Oh, my dog's trying to be a co-host. Um,
Hi, dog.
I'm stuck on medium with no ray tracing or anything, but it's a fun game to play,
Yeah.
and that at the end of the day, I mean, when it's that fun to play, then I can look past the fact that it's not graphics. But I am a graphics nerd. I want that shit to look good,
Yeah.
as long as it's not buggy.
That's fair.
I was one of the very lucky few that I had one car stuck in the pavement one time with Cyberpunk 2077 and no other issues at
Oh
all.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Considering the
like,
amount
what
of
is that? I'm
reports
sitting
coming
here at
out of
my
that.
computer going, yeah, I'm sitting here at my computer going, what the fuck is everybody bitching about?
Yeah, this game is great.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
But I guess that's it for the news. You guys want to move
Yeah.
on to the honorable mentions? I'll blow through these real quick. We'll start off with one where you all already know where I am at with it, but I do believe this is the wrap up. The Human Target number 12. If it's not the ending, then I can't imagine what's coming next. Brandon, this is the end of it, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get a chance to read the Riddler Year 1, number 3, but I hear good things, strangely enough. Sergeant Rock number 6, this was a wonderful series. We got Gilded City
Hmm.
number 5 came out. I did not read that. I haven't read any since issue number 1. Blue Beetle Graduation Day number 4. I wish we were getting Blue Beetle in an ongoing. It doesn't even have to be a solo book, but I am really enjoying this one. We got Dead Boy Detectives number 3, and that continues to be a fantastic. As does Batman: The Audio Adventures number 5 came out this week. Shazam, Shazamily Matters number 1. It's a fun book for a movie tie-in. You know, I'm not big on anthologies and whatnot, but it was a fun one for a movie tie-in. And then DC Ruby #1. I was not a fan of the last run. I thought it was a big ass waste of time. But this one, at least in issue #1, it seems okay so far. Nothing stellar, just okay, but not horrible like the last one. And then the last book on honorable mentions is Tim Drake Robin. Fucking yuck. And that is it for the honorable mentions.
Like there was another DC Ruby?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought this
it
was
came
the
out a while
first.
ago. No,
Wow.
no. It came out a few years ago.
Okay. Well, I'm behind. 'Cause I remember hearing
Just
about it
on
and I
that.
thought it was just an announcement and then it finally came out now. And I'm like, I thought I heard about this a few years ago. It took a long time to come out. Because I think the movie came out too recently.
The that's out.
Yeah. At least
I
as far as
didn't
I know,
even
I've seen a lot of screenshots online, people talking about it. So
I didn't even realize that.
yeah, I think anyway. I could be wrong. People are talking about it an awful lot though for something that is possibly not out. Yeah. Anyway, that is, as Josh said, the honorable mentions. A lot of stuff there, a lot of good stuff, a lot of mess stuff, but that's for you to decide.
Indeed.
As for next, we're going to take a quick bite out of crime with Punchline, the Gotham game #5, and Josh's going to tell us about that one.
Indeedly do, I will. I'm gonna try and blow through it as fast as I can. A lot did happen in this issue. It was written by Teeny and Blake Howard with Gleb Melnikoff, art and colors by Louis Guerrero. Becca Carey on those letters. The cover also came from Melnikoff, and it looks pretty dang good. All right, so this issue starts out with Assistant DA Ventura Fremont, Catwoman's lawyer, investigating the explosion at Ace Chemicals. She knows it was an explosion and not a fire because jet fuel don't melt steel beams. I'm just kidding. But that's happening while Punchline is out messing up the Gentlemen's Club meeting for Black Mask. That's happening while Black Mask attacks the Royal Flush Gang's hideout. So a little tit for tat there. The secret password from last issue, Aces High, unleashes the Android Aces. I should have saw that coming. I'm a dipshit for not. Punchline was losing that fight until one of the androids shows up and levels the playing field. They are definitely upgraded. Nightwing, Bluebird, and Cullen have to deal with the other one that came out. Thankfully, way back in Batman and Robin Eternal, Bluebird invented an anti-nanobot field, and they used that to get away. We're back with Punchline, who gets shot by Black Mask, and the Royal Flush Gang leave her to go handle the hostages at Port Royal because they say that's what she would do. After getting shot, Punchline falls off the building and lands in a garbage bin where what looks like the Joker happens to find her. End of issue. It seems like Punchline's world is crashing down around her, and I can't help but wonder how much longer she's going to be a major player in Gotham, how much longer she's going to be relevant. I really enjoy Melnikoff's art, like almost all of the time, though here it seems just a tiny bit off in places. Not altogether, though. Pretty good. It is an issue that I did enjoy, as I have so far the whole series, and I do look forward to the conclusion to see what happens next. So this one got an 8 out of 10 for me. How
Right
about
on.
you guys?
Finally, we get some hard times for Alexis K. Because let's
Fucking
face it,
right.
prison was not a bad time for her.
No, the trial, the prison, everything leading up to and after, she's been sailing through like easy cheesy, man.
Yeah.
Got comeuppance.
That Joker at the end, it is definitely a Joker, and it looks like, and you can tell from the scar on his head, that's the Joker in The Man Who Stopped Laughing, the supposed clone or alternate Joker, the one that's been homeless, the one that got shot in the head. So
Yep.
that looks like that one, which is very interesting. That's another thing I like about certain books like this, that just kind of come out of nowhere, and then they spend time in the universe. They tell their own story, but they reference so many other things that are going on, and it doesn't detract from the story or any other story. It just says, yeah, it's here and this is happening now, and you can tell. And I appreciate that. I like that. Yeah, I think it's really cool
when
how
it's
they can
coming
make that work.
concurrently, that's the shit.
Yeah,
Yes.
like that it wasn't even a tie-in or crossover, but the story with Catwoman and Punchline happening at the same time was perfect. You read one, then you read the other, and it makes sense. We'll just have to see if the same thing happens with The Man Who Stopped Laughing. All together, though, I really enjoyed it. Beautiful art, interesting story, 8 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, no, this one still continues to be a surprisingly good series. I mean, I feel like I say that every time we cover it. But yeah, no, it's still a good deal of fun, and I agree. It's nice to see Punchline get a little bit of comeuppance, especially um, given last issue she really kind of took it from Black Mask. So it's nice seeing that
Yeah.
continue here. It was also something that put a smile on my face, a minor thing, but it's still nice to see was Bluebird's anti was it the anti nanite field or nanoswarm field, which is a really old callback to Batman and Robin Eternal, but actually even a little bit
Yeah.
farther back after her brother was infected with the nanoswarm way back in the beginning of
Oh, no
Batman
shit.
Eternal, and that was like,
Oh,
yeah, it just I mean I remembered it, but I was like, oh wow, it's nice to see that someone actually kind of remembers that that's sort of why she started being Bluebird was to save her brother and everything there. So just a fun little reference that I enjoyed. But yeah, I gave this an 8 out of 10 as well, and looking forward to seeing how it all wraps up next month.
Yeah.
whoa! How often does that happen, guys?
We all have the same score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know,
freaky.
it's kind of weird.
I
All right,
guess
we'll
that
see if
means
it
it's pretty
happens
damn
again.
good.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, we'll see if that happens a second time with Stargirl: The Lost Children #4, with Brandon giving us the lowdown.
Sure. This one will be a little bit shorter just because it was a pretty fast-paced issue, but this is Stargirl: The Lost Children #4, written by Jeff Johns with art from Todd Knock, colors from Matt Herms, and letters from Rob Lee. Corky Baxter, having caught up the Lost Children and Stargirl on the history of the Flashpoint slash the timeline shenanigans, begin their charge against the Childminder's castle to stop her from selling the heroes to the mysterious buyer. Unfortunately, they're just a little too late as the buyer arrives from the distant future before they can begin their final assault, and is none other than the man known as Our Man. Yeah, I don't know. It's still a lot of fun.
What?
And that was a hell of a reveal. I debated keeping that
Hmm.
one a secret just because it was a pretty crazy one.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm still bearing it because I won't. Well, I pretty much gave it away, but I won't say which Hour Man it is. But if you listen to my summary, you know. But yeah, no, that was a hell of a surprise, and I don't know how he became corrupted and is now an enemy of the JSA and their sidekicks, but I guess we'll find out. I'm hoping this is not an extant thing. But yeah, no, still a
It
super
better
fun
not
issue.
be.
Love the art. Looking forward to it. Gave this one an 8 out of 10 as well.
See, he's not gonna tell us who. He's not gonna say who that Our Man is. And with Our Man, I always need to be reminded if that's Rick or not. I can never fucking remember the costumes on Our Man. It's horrible. But
No, this
did you
this
give
one
your score on that?
I looked up.
Yeah, I said 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Oh, you did look it up.
Yeah, well, it's not. Okay, that's kind of giving it. It's not Rick. I'll say that.
No.
No.
All right, but you know who is someone? Apparently, Childminder is Mother Goose from the nursery rhymes.
Yeah, that's
What
interesting.
the hell? That confused me a little bit, but it was still a pretty enjoyable issue, although I will say Corky Baxter still gets on my nerves. Art is fantastic, and it's super cool to see all these former and new sidekicks from previous timelines coming together. I am admittedly very curious as to what happens when they do return to their original timeline. If that happens, I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to keep reading. But it was fun, even if even if the Mother Goose and Corky Baxter kind of kicked me off for a little bit. But I give this one a 7.75 out of 10.
Fair enough. Just like everyone else, I did not see that ending coming. This, while already interesting, just got way more interesting. I will say, and I'm hoping I don't give anything away with this. I'm trying not to give anything away here. I did look up the history of this character, just because I needed to be reminded of it all. It's been a while since we've seen this character. And I
Childminder?
don't think... No, Hour Man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Being a turd.
I don't think necessarily that he's turned evil, because it also, just seeing some of the stuff I saw on the wiki, it kind of sounds like almost par for the course in a way. Like he's doing this to protect them and to kind of save them
okay.
from something, right? And I'm trying. I had all this thing these ideas ready to go, but I don't want to give anything away. So
Yeah.
if you get what I'm putting down,
Picking up what
it
I'm
just
putting
seems
down.
like maybe it's more of a protection thing as opposed to a evil thing. But we'll see. There's 2 more issues to go. I think it's of 6.
I hope you're right, man, because Our Man going bad, regardless of which one it is, it sucks. The idea of it
Mhm.
sucks. He's an
Yeah.
integral part of the JSA. So, hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Rob, I guess I didn't hear either one of you. What was your score?
I hadn't said it yet. Mine was
Oh, okay.
8.75.
Whoa.
Yeah. That twist at the end was like, oh, okay, this is good. that one
Like
raised it up
the
for me.
twist.
Okay, so with that ends our quick bites section for the week. Now we're gonna shine a spotlight on over, some would even say a bat signal on Batman vs. Robin number 5, the finale of not just this miniseries but also the Lazarus Planet saga. This is written by Mark Waid with art from Mahmoud Resrar, colors from Jordi Belair, letters from Steve Wands, and a gorgeous cover from Mahmoud Asbar and Nathan Fairbairn. Despite what you see on the cover, which when I was looking at it really threw me for a loop, Alfred is not involved. I will bury that lead right now. Basically picking up where we left off at the end of Lazarus Planet Omega. Excuse me. King Fire... No. Not King Fireball, sorry. Devil Nessa has entered Batman's body and taken him over, and has now kidnapped Robin, taken him to the Batcave, and has revealed himself as the Devil Nessa. So he's taken Robin to the Batcave and revealed himself to be the Devil Nessa. Robin, kind of surprised, is now planning as best he can what he can do to save his father, because the last time he saw his father, he was mortally wounded, but now he is perfectly healthy. As much as I was a bit of a surprise, now he's not surprised at all. Devil Nessa just wants to find his son, King Fireball, and finish him once and for all, as Damien really has no idea where he is, but then decides, okay, I'll show you anyway. Activates some sonar beacon inside the Batcave while protecting his ears with earplugs, and completely decimates Devil Nessa's ears for about 3 seconds as Robin gets on his motorcycle, hightails it out of the Batcave, but is being closely followed by the Batmobile, Ghost Rider Batmobile, it looks like, says the wheels are on fire. And not just any Batmobile,
Right.
the Batmobile that him and Dick were driving around in when Bruce was lost in time. As
Flying
Damien says, my
One of the
Batmobile.
most iconic ones.
Yeah. It's a beautiful design. I love it.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Damien is getting the hell out of Dodge as fast as he can, but is not doing so well because the Batmobile is shooting missiles as well. Meanwhile, Monkey Prince jumps onto his motorcycle, blocking Robin's view with a stupid idea, and they almost crash. But Monkey Prince then reveals his clone jutsu, because I don't remember the actual name. It's been a very Naruto day for me.
Clone Jitsu
And-
worked, man.
Yeah, and sends some Monkey Prince clones onto the windshield of the Batmobile, blocking Devil Neza's view, which crashes the Batmobile. But Batman Neza walks out of the flaming wreckage towards Monkey Prince and Robin, but they quickly escape as Monkey Prince pleads with Robin, "Look, I know he's your dad, but you know what we have to do. There is no other way. If we take Neza's spirit out, Batman will die because Neza is the only thing keeping him alive right now." And Robin reluctantly follows suit, despite the fact that he wants to do whatever it takes to save his father. He calls in the Bat family. All the Batgirls and the Robins show up, and together they formulate a plan. They lure him to Gotham City rooftops with the Bat signal, and together they all fight him, weakening him and putting him down as fast as possible. As Damian is watching from afar, making sure things are set in place, and waiting for Monkey Prince to arrive with the final part of the plan. Monkey Prince arrives a little bit late as Devil Neza is beginning to get the upper hand on the family, but then Monkey Prince uses his hair into clones discipline, sorry, that's what it's called, and instead of making multiple clones of himself, instead makes multiple clones of Robin, Damian Wayne Robin. So now it's like the scene from The Matrix Reloaded where Agent Smith is just dogpiling on Neo with only one Robin in existence. But then Neza begins to get the upper hand, much like Neo did in that movie, and eventually finds the real Robin just as the final part of the plan shows up, and that is Zatanna, the Enchantress, and Shifu Pigsy, where they bind Batman's body down and in tow with Devil Neza's dead deceased corpse. With that, Robin gives the word. They transfer his spirit back into his own body and seal Neza away. But then Robin formulates or brings up the final part of his plan, where he wants to sacrifice his own life force to save him. But as the spellcasters reveal, it's not enough. It's not going to work. He's dead, and your life force is not strong enough. No matter what we do, there's not enough. So Robin does the last thing he knows how, or knows to, the last thing he can do, and that he gets on comms, thanks to the Oracle, and talks to the entire city of Gotham City, and pleads with them to share a bit of their life force to save Batman's life. He has saved your lives many times. The least you can do is save his. And they do. Batman is back to life thanks to the spellcasters, and they embrace in one more hug with a "it's over." Finally, Batman and Robin are back together again. The end. For a title like Batman vs. Robin, I will say it did not disappoint. You get exactly that in every issue. You get Batman fighting Robin, so it did the bare minimum that it set out to do. You have Batman fighting Robin, and that's fair. If that's all it's trying to do, that's what it's doing. As for the ending, though, it was kind of cheesy, saving Batman's life like that. Like, it was cool and all, but it was also a little too Dragon Ball even for me. And I've been watching Dragon Ball since I was 6 years old. If I needed any more proof that Mark Waid did a rewatch of DBZ recently, it's this issue.
He's definitely been watching a lot of
fusions.
anime.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, the fusion was a clear sign.
Oh, yeah. It was to the fusions, and this is, like, highly reminiscent of the Spirit Bomb. So, I don't know. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, I think the story was good overall, and the reformed bond of father and son is great, but honestly, how long is that going to last? There's always going to be some writer that thinks, oh, you know what would be great? Damian and Bruce fighting. Seems to happen every couple of years.
Yeah.
I think we just need to
We've
let
got
that
some
go.
character progression that's been going
Like,
on with Damian, so
hope-
hopefully we can
Yeah.
move on from
Hopefully, at least just hit pause for a couple of years before they drudge that shit up again. Like,
Or just
take
never.
a break. We got
Just
it.
let it
Or
sink.
just never. Or just
Yeah.
never.
Yeah,
just
just
never.
let it lie at the bottom of Gotham River. You know,
Yes, just let them be. Yeah,
Rupert Thorne's men can
let
just
them be Batman and
give it the
Robin.
cement shoes. Yeah. All in all, as a series, I think it was fairly enjoyable. For a final issue, 8.5 out of 10. Stellar art. Um, Weird ending, but how much can you really do when it comes to ending a series called Batman versus Robin?
Yeah.
Man, I
No,
have
sometimes I
swung
have to remind
completely.
myself that Mark Waid is from a different era.
Mm-hmm.
um, Especially with endings like these, because I know he was sort of weaned on the Silver Age style stories, which had, very straightforward, simple, oftentimes Deus Ex Machina type resolutions. And I think this is a clear example of that because, oh my God, this ending was so corny. Um,
Yeah,
it just
like
with like, there's literally, it was like, oh my God. I mean, everyone's saying like the I am Spartacus thing, but all I was thinking of was I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Malcolm X movie from 1992, but at the
Oh
ending they
yeah.
have like a bunch of kids around the world saying I am Malcolm X, and it was the first thing that popped into my mind. It's just that same level of kind of like it's got the right spirit. It's very warm-hearted and nice, but also just incredibly corny. And the whole like, you know, give a piece of yourself and the bat will live again, and then he does miraculously, and then they're off to the rooftops as Batman. It was so corny.
yeah,
So for that I had to dock a couple points because like that was so ridiculous. It felt like I don't know, like a Saturday morning cartoon. But I
yeah.
can't deny that this series was a lot more fun than I expected, and I
Mhm.
wholeheartedly agree with you. I think at least since the '90s, Mark Waid has been watching a lot of anime and probably reading some manga because there's no way he didn't do this and not think of like Shadow Clone Jutsu
Yeah.
or whatever it is from Naruto. But yeah, no, that was fun. So this one got a 7.75 out of 10. Like it's corny and Deus Ex ending, having people just give their souls and Batman's able to just wake up and be fine. But I don't know. It's fun. It's innocent. I guess at the end of the day, it'll put a smile on your face.
Yeah. If that's all it's trying to do, then definitely does that. I could put a different movie in it with the explanation you had because it was very quick. Like they have that okay, Batman saved, and then a page later, it's just one more page and that's it. I think it could have done with an extra couple of pages just to not necessarily need to set up anything else, but just like give us some resolution between Bruce and Damian. Be like, I'm sorry, father. It's like, I'm sorry too, son, or something like that. And like, it wasn't really mean. As I
Yeah.
know. Like, just give us something. Give us some kind of like nice father son moment to like really put a cap on this story, and not just have a hug and then move on.
And then they're
It
off to
felt
the
kind of rushed,
rooftops. Yeah.
and it reminds me
Yeah.
of I don't know if you guys watched the first Michael Bay Transformers movie. It has the same effect for me, where like the action's over, they save the day, and then like Optimus has this 30-second speech over the guitar solos from Linkin Park, and then it just ends out of nowhere. There's no like, this is what Wiki's up to next, or this is what the Autobots are doing now. Like it's just okay, we saved the day, and now the movie's done. Like okay, just gonna end it now. Gonna give us like 2 more minutes. Okay, it's almost rushed, but not in a bad way. It's really weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have swung completely the other way with you from you guys. Um, you mentioned an extra page or two with Batman saying I'm sorry or whatever, but to me we got the Batman equivalent of that with Robin. Uh, his little narration at the end where he says that a lesson was learned not by them but by the world. There is no more formidable a team than Batman and Robin. For me, that is like a Bat family kind of hug there. Um,
Yeah,
now, as far as the rest of it goes, I'm going to start by saying that what could have been a great cover just wasn't it for me. And honestly, that's most of the art inside wasn't my favorite. It's not bad, it's just not my kind of style. I'm not a big Godlewski fan. But the whole thing, anyway, it's always been that Batman is Gotham, and that's because he's always been his protector, and he'll never leave it, no matter how bad things get. Now after this, now after this issue, Batman really is Gotham. He has a piece of all of it, and to me, I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Um, in a story that I did enjoy at times, but thought could have been way better, and even complained about a lot of it. This was easily, for me, the best ending that this arc could have ever had. I absolutely loved it, and I can't give enough praise to the creative team for coming up with the ending that they did. And I do get that there's a lot of similarities between Naruto and Dragon Ball, but it was a little different. I applaud the execution of the idea, and I give it an 8.5 out of 10. And honestly, it would have got a 9 if it wasn't for the Godlewski art that I'm just not a fan of. Again, it's not
Mahmoud
bad.
Asrar, it's not Scott Godlewski. It's a
Say again?
misprint on the cover.
Oh, who
It's
is
Mahmoud
this?
Asrar, it's not Scott Godlewski. It's a
Oh, well.
misprint on the cover.
Go figure. That's the second week in a row. But all right. Well, and
Yeah.
I'm still not a fan.
I mean, it has his name too. I don't know why they also have Scott. I mean, maybe they had originally tapped him to do some of the art, and Mahmoud Asrar did all of it. I don't know, but it's not Scott Godlewski.
All right, fair enough. Still wasn't the hugest fan, but I did think it was a great issue, and I gave it the same score Rob did. I thought it an 8.5 out of 10.
Fair enough.
I thought so.
Yeah, I didn't even see Godlewski's name there. That's kind of weird
Yeah,
because he's not
it's
on
on
the
the cover,
credits
but it shouldn't.
inside.
Yeah, it's not in the credits.
Yeah, that was is Ezra or Nathan Fairbairn that did it.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not reviewing it. I didn't even check the credits page. I just saw it.
Fair enough. All right, with that, that's our spotlight section for the week, and now we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
You guys need to take a break or anything? Go grab some
I just
water.
got to run to the washroom. Yeah.
All right. Be back in 2 and 2. And I really like that ending. You there, Brandon?
yes.
Um, on that page in Batman versus Robin, where the whole Bat family's sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
Tim, Steph, Nightwing, all of it. I didn't bring it up during the review because it's kind of nitpicking, but doesn't it look like Nightwing has a mustache and a soul patch?
Um, I don't have the page in front of me, so I don't know, but I can go over my copy. I don't know that I saw anything. What page was it?
I want to say it's like 20.
Oh, okay. That's not the right issue.
They're all standing there on the rooftop. Steph is swinging down from the air.
That's why I forgot to read this yesterday. Let's see. Is this where Nightwing says round two?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't see it. The soul pet? Yeah, no, I don't see it. I mean, I there's like a little crease under his lip, but that just looks like a shadow.
Uh,
I
well,
love the pose.
I guess
art
looking
that
at
has,
it
though.
digitally is a little
That was
different.
really cool. Yeah, it's a badass pose.
On my screen, it looks like he's got a like an old-fashioned mustache where they shave the middle and then a little soul patch on the
Weird.
bottom.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I can show you my copy, but I don't. Maybe you'll see it, but I don't see it. Yeah. I don't really see it.
Yeah, no, I can see it. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
darker on mine.
Huh. It could just be the screen difference. I don't know.
It could be.
Ugh. Yeah. Here's what I don't get. So this is the Lazarus Planet epilogue, but this is issue 5 of Batman versus Robin. So when they collect this, is it going to be part of the Lazarus Planet trade or the Batman versus Robin trade?
That's a damn good question because I can't figure that
like-
out either. Or
yeah,
are
I
they
don't
going to
know.
put it all
And-
in one collected deal?
Oh, I hope not. That makes me so. I mean, I already have it, but like even still, that would literally force you to read Lazarus Planet. Although, well, there may be a workaround because what I did was I just reorganized it yesterday. I can show you. So I have all 5 issues of Batman versus Robin, and then sandwiched in between 2 and 4, I have Lazarus Planet Alpha and then the Lazarus Planet Omega. Because that's basically just like that's the story. And then after
Yeah,
that, I have
they-
Lazarus Planet 5, and then I have separately all of the Lazarus Planet tie-ins in just like a separate sleeve. Because you don't really need those to read the main story. So it was
No,
just
you
like
do
this
not.
is going to be easier. And at any point when I reread Batman versus Robin, I'm going to need to go straight into Lazarus Planet and then the Omega and then back to Batman versus Robin. So I figured this would just be easier. So I don't know if that's how they're going to do it, but yeah, it's such a weird way to collect it. Anyway.
Oh, for a trade.
It's a weird way to.
Yeah, well, so I asked, I was like, so Batman versus Robin number 5 is a Lazarus Planet epilogue, but it's issue 5 of Batman versus Robin. So when they collect the whole thing, is it going to be in a Batman versus Robin trade or in the Lazarus Planet trade?
Yeah. I mean, it
don't
wouldn't be
know.
the first time they've had issues in 2 different trades.
Yeah, it's just so weird though, because you're basically gonna read issues 1 through 4, and I guess it'll just end on the Lazarus volcano exploding, and then that'll be the end of it. And if
Mhm.
whether you choose to read Lazarus Planet or not, that's the end of the story for
Yeah.
Batman versus Robin, which is such a weird way because it's not really the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
But
weird.
I
I mean,
was
it
just
was
telling
weird to
Josh-
do that. It's an event, and you put
Yeah.
the conclusion in a totally different book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Josh, I think the way I have it, because I just organized it once 5 came out, is I have 1 through 4, and then sandwiched in between 4 and 5, I have the Lazarus Planet Alpha and the Lazarus Planet Omega, because that's basically just the whole story from Wade,
Yeah.
which I feel like makes sense, because you don't really, I mean, you can obviously, but
No.
you don't really need to understand the Alpha or the Omega. Like they don't really factor in. So you can kind of just go from 4 to the 2 Lazarus Planet issues to 5, and then that's the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of it is just fluff.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's interesting if you want to read it, but it's like any other time. It's not necessary, or at least
Yeah.
it shouldn't be.
Yeah. It was really. That is a weird way to doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Indeed.
Basically, what I'm saying is DC should pay me to put together their collections,
Yes.
DC
and then they
needs
can
to
pay
you to do
me
something.
in those collections. I mean, probably not because that's exploitation, I'm sure. But yeah, yeah,
Not if you sign a contract.
Exactly.
yeah.
Hey, there's a union
Well,
now.
I mean, yeah.
For
I mean, I
Image,
would
not
probably want a
DC.
formal paycheck, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready to throw down on the rest of this stuff?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right, bring us back, my man.
And we're back. Thanks for sticking with Not a Robot. I knew you wouldn't go anywhere. We are now getting into our full dive section of the week, where we are going to start off with Action Comics number 1052, and that is brought to us by Josh.
Indeed, it is, and what an issue. This is a 3-parter, so hang in there, folks. The main story is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, with art from Rafa Sandoval, colors from Matt Herms, lettering from Dave Sharp, and a seriously wicked cool cover from Steve Beach, who, for some reason or another, I am not familiar with, but I really think I should be. Y'all need to see this thing. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But we pick up where we left off from the last issue. The super family is all not doing so well. They're kind of all messed up from that big boom. Up in the sky, we get to see Superman fighting a beefed up by Lex Luthor Metallo. The Steel family shows up to help level the playing field, and after John Henry Irons messes up Metallo's face, Superman whoops on him, covers him in ice, and he sends him out into space. After a brief visit to Clark's apartment with all the super family present, we get a very brief history lesson about John Corbin before we go back out to space and see him break free from Superman's ice breath freezing. He's getting some kind of communication from his sister that is apparently in prison, but I don't know if it's a hallucination. I don't think it is, but I also don't really think it's her in any case. He's told that she needs him to kill Superman and Superman's entire family in order to be, saved. So during the fight with Metallo, Superman finds out that Lex Luthor is not the one speaking to Metallo, but he doesn't know who it is yet. Speaking of Metallo, he's in an alleyway and some members of Blue Earth stumble upon him. He grabs them up after a brief fight that did not end their way and takes them to a secret hideout where he tells them that they are going to help him kill the super family. Through this, there are some references made about the Unmade from Warworld, and the next issue is titled Unmade, so I really think we're looking at a further Warworld connection here. Not that that takes any psychic powers to figure out. The end of the first part. As far as that one goes, Superman is awesome in PKJ's hands and Rafa Sandoval's art. and this story has me super interested, pardon the pun. It's headed in a very cool direction. I would never have thought that this wasn't Lex Luthor talking to Metallo, and the Warworld connection has me wishing that this was a weekly series. Uh, Normally, I would have gotten fatigue with such a setting continuing to go on. Um, but the way that it's written is just I'm not getting tired of it at all. It was a great first part of the book. I was really into it, and I know you guys don't typically grade the parts separately, but this one, the first part, I gave a 9.25 on.
Right
Should
on.
I continue, or do y'all want to talk about that first one? Talk about the first one.
Okay. Okay. So I'm debating if Brandon, you should go first.
Um, yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it still continues to be arguably the best Superman story that we've had as just the continuing saga of this era of Clark Kent. I know that sounded very vague, but I'm trying to kind of put everything into the right words. But yeah, no, I mean, I think what I'm really paying attention to, at least in this arc, is just seeing how this version of Metallo is different from versions that we've had in the past, how they're trying to alter that, the mystery of who may or may not really be influencing John Corbin, and then, of course, just seeing how the new era of the Super Family works together and everything. And it's a minor thing, but I feel like it's going to get more attention soon. But the Blue Earth movement, which I actually think could be really interesting, because there have been anti-Superman movements in the past, anti-Superman sentiment. I mean, we talked about Livewire last week. That's certainly a loud example, but it was sort of like a minor thing, and we're gonna see how they get folded into Corbin's plan later. But I'm interested to see how that movement develops later, because I think really the sort of anti um, movements have usually been more in Gotham, not so much in Metropolis, at least from my memory of Superman. So I kind of want to see how that's going to play out in the future. It's a smaller thing, but I hope it gets developed more. And then the art from Rafa Sandoval is just like, I'm so glad he's doing Action Comics. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
dude has just continued to improve over the years, and I think he's so perfect for a book called Action Comics. So that's where I'm at with the main story, which I gave a 9 out of 10.
Okay, so first off, I want to go back to Superman #1 from last week. I still think it's
Course
a
you do.
great issue, but of course I want to go back to it, but of course I still think it's a great issue.
Both. But anyway,
um, I still think it's a great issue, but honestly, for me, continuity kind of matters sometimes. And
all the time.
for me, the whole thing with Lex right now is kind of an issue. He's still a dick here, but he's helping over there. And sure, there's probably some machinations going on behind the scenes that we don't know about yet with
For sure.
Williamson's book, but PKJ's been doing this, like setting this up for a long time, and it seems like two completely different Lex Luthors. Like if Williamson is going to go with that story, which I do still really enjoy, he really should try to match that up with Johnson, because Johnson really was here first with
Yeah.
the plot, right? At least align the Lex Luthors a little bit. That part kind of bugged me and kind of lowered the score a little bit. Um, Overall, with the main story, at least for this issue, I felt it was kind of bland at times, but also exciting at times. Like Metalo getting punched into space, that was pretty cool. The family sitting around and talking for 3 pages about random stuff, that was kind of not so cool. Uh, it was hit or miss for me, but ultimately I did enjoy it. And I have not scored individually, so I will admit a score right now.
All right, we'll give it a 9 for you. All right. The second part, written by one of Rob's favorites, Dan Jurgens, with art from Lee Weeks, coloring from Elizabeth Brightweiser, and Rob Lee on the lettering. This is part 2 of Home Again, which happens back when John is a kid. Picking up from last issue, we're looking at an alien that has crash landed on the Kent farm in front of John. This alien wants to speak to the king of the world, and John is telling her that there is no such thing. The alien's name is Gliana, and Gliana of the planet Plun. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. And she thinks that Superman must be the king, and she obviously comes from a world where the most powerful are the rulers, and doing the right thing is ridiculous. Conversation doesn't last long after John tries to help her ditch a tracking device that she's concerned about, and he ends up frying her ship's controls. That's when a robot shows up to arrest her or kill her choice, and John tries to help, but the robot, saying that this attack was merely minor, knocks him back and hurts him pretty bad with electricity. The robot that is called Killamek, which, let's be honest, makes perfect sense. It sounds like a cheap Gundam villain, though. He grabs Gliana and John up, grabs John as well, calling him her accomplice, and then he lifts him up in some sort of energy field. John calls out for his dad, and Clark takes off, but we don't see if he gets there in time. Lois is worried about it, though. Meanwhile, while Superman is out, Lois gets a knock on the door, and it is none other than Doombreaker asking for help, and I did not see that coming. So, I'm sure you guys remember, but I was really opposed to this story in part one. And I still don't see a reason to be going back in time to when John was a young boy. But I have to admit that this story has definitely taken a turn for the better. I'm into it now because there's been some really interesting things introduced. Not wholeheartedly, but it is interesting now. And man, Lee Weeks is on top of his game here. So far, so good. And a little emphasis on the good there. I gave part 2 an 8.5 out of 10. What did you guys think about that?
Brandon.
I think Rob wants you to take all of them first, Brandon.
Hello?
Yep.
All right.
I said I think Rob wants you to take all of the ones first.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I remember correctly, I think I enjoyed last month's Young John backup. I thought it was just a fun throwback to a simpler time, and I agree with this one. I still am not in love with the whole Doombreaker thing. I think it is just kind of silly. I don't know that we need more than one Doomsday. I think Doomsday is a villain that is not a good villain, but is a villain that serves a purpose. So yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't really care about that, but it's fun watching Young John, and it's cute even. I will say, just as one thing, I don't know if he's like trying to do a style of speaking or something, but I noticed like he has John speaking with like, when I read it out in my mind, it's almost like a southern style of speaking. It's like this very kind of rural, and I know John grew up on a farm, but I also think they're in like California, so I don't really know why he sounds like that, and I don't remember him sounding like that
Smallville's in
before when
Kansas,
Peter
isn't it?
Tomasi was doing Super Sons. But they're not in Smallville. They're in
Hamilton
I
County.
forget where it is. Hamilton County, which I think they say is like California or something. So I don't know why why he suddenly sounds like he's from Kansas. But yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, and I don't know where that's coming from. But aside from that, still think it's really fun. Just looking forward to more adventures with Young John. And this one got
Maybe
an 8
we're
out of
getting
10.
a retcon, and this is how Clark talks.
Well, I'll be
Oh,
honest.
God.
I thought back in that story when they were doing that, I thought Hamilton County was in Kansas. It was just further away from Smallville.
I swear they mentioned somewhere it was because they said like we're on the West Coast, and I was like, that can't be Kansas because Kansas is in the Midwest. So
Yeah.
I mean, as
I
far as
could be
you know.
wrong. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I do remember reading
Yeah.
something
Right
about
Kansas
California,
not
but
being
like
on the West Coast.
um, I do remember reading something about California, which kind of threw me for a loop. But I could have sworn when they did those stories in 2016 that it was still in Kansas, just not Smallville. Like it was kind of Smallville adjacent, but far enough away where no one would recognize Clark and Lois.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be wrong. Yeah, for this backup, it's while not amazing and not ultimately leading to anything, it still takes place in my favorite time for Superman, and I'm still really enjoying a Dan Jurgens story. So, all the power to it. I'm all for it. It's interesting.
Right on, man. All right, so finally we got the third part, which is a part of an ongoing story as well, written by Leah Williams, art by Marguerite Sauvage, and Becca Carey is on lettering. And this one is Power Girl. She's still a telepath and is still working as a counselor for heroes with Omen. This time, the one that needs help is Supergirl, and she can't talk right. It's all gibberish, but her thoughts are still clear. So, to help out, Power Girl dives into Kara's mindscape. And of course, Kara's mindscape is a representation of Argo City. That makes sense. And she also appears in this mindscape looking like, and I don't know how you guys felt, but like some kind of wizard princess from Gemworld. Uh, After Power Girl pisses Kara off, Supergirl speaks a real world. Blah. Let me try that again. After Power Girl pisses Kara off, Supergirl speaks a real word in the real world. So Power Girl continues to try to piss off Kara at Omen's insistence. She's breaking shit and she's trying to get under Supergirl's skin, calling her out on a bunch of stuff, talking about how perfect she thinks she is or doesn't think she is, but wants everybody else to think that she is. Power Girl knows that this is some kind of psychic attack and that the actual target is herself. We see some sort of monument with a black rose on top that has the inscription, "Power Girl, can you sense the can you sense the coming curtain call?" And it is signed JS. I don't know who that is, but I'm hoping Brandon can tell me. Back in the real world, man alive, I am done talking. Back in the real world, Kara is now fine, and Power Girl notes that coming after her through the super family isn't exactly like the best approach because she's left out of the family, and that is true. I mean, Power Girl just doesn't really appear as a part of the super family, even in the first story where the whole super family is together. Even oh damn, what is his name? Con-El, the Superman of China, is there.
Oh,
But
Oh man.
King Kong. Oh wow,
Yeah,
I forgot for a second.
Yeah, I forgot to. Yeah,
Kenan
Kanan
Kong.
Kong. That's
Yep.
it.
All right, I said Con-El. I'm retarded. All right. Anyway, so I mean, I get that, and it's interesting. It's a good part of the story there. She's never around them. So the story ends with Omen offering all of them some tea. uh, I think it's. I still think it's really weird that Power Girl has telepathy now, but I think I get it. She needs to be differentiated from Supergirl, or she's completely irrelevant. She's got to be made into her own character, and I guess that's what we're getting now. So let's roll with it. It works for me, and I'm pretty into this now. Savage's art is hit or miss with me, but I really dig it here. It works, and it works really well. It's not over the top, and I like it. Something else that I like, Kara's new costume. That shit is awesome, man. It's banging. I fucking love it. Uh, Seriously.
Princess one or the like other one?
This one, which apparently
Oh,
we're going to
okay,
be
thank
seeing a
God.
lot of different ones for Supergirl. She's apparently
Yeah.
going to be changing her costumes according to her mood, and I mean, whatever. As long as they're not totally horrible. But I did see some
Hey,
images.
if Daredevil
online.
can do it, she can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I hope that this story stays as strong as it is now. At least I think it is. It would be very easy for it to start dipping into nonsense, and I don't want to see that. It's got really good footing, and for me, that's a good thing as long as they can keep it up. And I liked it a whole bunch. I gave it a 9.75 out of 10. Um, as
Wow.
far as the whole book, I think the whole book is outstanding, and I really don't know another word for it. It's nearly perfect. The story, the voices, the dialogue, the art, hell, even the lettering is great in all three parts. This is fantastic, and now I'm just coming up with synonyms for awesome. So I'm gonna stop it there. The last part got a 9.75 out of 10, and so did the whole issue.
Oh damn.
All right, do I take the reins again?
Go for it. I figured I
All
had you
right.
go first for the
Just-
first
there's like a
story, so I let
silence
you
and
go
I-
first for the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like there's a silence, and I just feel Rob being like, just can you just go? I'm like, all right, I guess. No, I'm right there with you, Josh. I mean, I don't know. I think Power Girl is an interesting character in that, um, I think for a lot of her history, she's just sort of been kind of relegated to supporting roles, or she's been part of a team. I vaguely remember her having a solo series in like the 2000s. I don't think I've ever read that. So maybe she got into some stuff there, but I don't think she's ever really had, a time in the spotlight where people are like, "Oh, wow, Power Girl's awesome." She's never really gonna, and feel free to disagree. I'm sure some JSA fan, I mean, I'm a JSA fan, but I'm sure some JSA fans will agree, but I just feel like Power Girl will ultimately kind of never really live up to the popularity of Supergirl because people are probably going to side with Supergirl just because she's more well known. But I like that they're kind of giving her, I don't know, something to do, something that's a little bit different and unique from the rest of the Super
Mhm.
family. And you get points from me from teaming her up with Lilith, who's a great Titans character, super underrated, and I always love seeing her pop up anywhere. I was so disappointed when she wasn't part of the Titans run, at Titans Academy or whatever it was. Because how many psychic characters are there in the DC universe that could have used mentorship from Omen? But anyway, that book sucked. Point is, I'm just happy that Power Girl is
Fuck
is
it.
getting up to some stuff.
Hmm.
And Margaret Savage's art. I personally am, and I still think it's really shining here. And to answer your question for who JS is, I can tell you. I don't know how much you want. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but it's. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know who it is. Plus, they kind of gave it away. But I
I'm
can
not
tell
picking
you
it up.
if you want to know.
I do
Okay.
want to know. The whole world wants to know.
So-
Inquiring minds want to know.
All right. Well, if inquiring minds want to know, then I aim to please. But for those who are familiar with, say, if you can remember characters from, I believe it was the Jeff Johns incarnation of the Injustice Society, there is a character who was rather well known for carrying around a black rose, someone who also was well known for his levitating mask. And Rob, do you know who I'm talking about?
J.K.
No, you
Simmons?
lost me.
I lost you?
lost me.
Okay. Well, there's a
Yeah.
character on, maybe I'm not doing a good job, but there's a character, I believe was on that version of the Justice Society, and his name is none other than Johnny
You
Well,
cut out at the
Sorrow.
last
You
name.
cut
there.
out.
I just
And
His name is none
mentioned-
other than blank.
Johnny Sorrow.
Johnny
Johnny
Sorrow.
Sorrow.
Why doesn't that
Oh,
ring any
okay.
bells?
no.
I don't know if you guys remember that character at all, but
No, not at all. I guess
I'll be honest, I
again,
don't.
oh, okay. Then
he
never
proves
mind.
why he's the
Yeah.
librarian.
Well, yeah. Well, Johnny Sorrow, character from the JSA, pretty cool. He wielded the um I don't remember if it was the Eternity mask or the Medusa. It might have been the Medusa mask or something like that. And basically, his power was if you removed that mask, it would like destroy. If you looked at his true face. But I don't remember if that's the name of the. Basically, yeah, that was his power.
Okay.
I just don't remember the name of the mask.
Medusa
The
mask
only
sounds
three
familiar. But wasn't the
masks of-
Medusa mask the one that Psychopirate uses?
That's interesting because I was literally just gonna say the only three masks that I can think of are the Medusa mask, Psycho Pirate mask, and Doctor Fate, which doesn't really count as
The
a mask.
Medusa mask might be the Psychopirate mask. I might just be confusing it because yeah, there are a lot of masks, but yeah, it's basically it's one of his masks. Yeah, the Medusa mask is for Psychopirate. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that's who that is. It's Johnny Sarra, which would make sense given that it's JSA connection. Power Girl would obviously have run into her before.
Yeah, and the whole JS initials.
Also,
Well,
side note, if you've not read JSA Injustice Be Done, please do. It's a great story arc.
Yeah, I gotta revisit that.
obviously, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to too.
Mm-hmm. Did you give a score?
Oh, I gave this one an 8.5 out of 10.
Right on. For the whole book or just the?
Oh, for the
backup.
Power Girl backup, I didn't score the whole book.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Probably a 9 out of 10.
Right on. Yeah, the second backup I quite enjoyed. I think it was really good. The art is very different, but I like it. A relationship you don't see explored much that I think is Karen and Kara. I want to see more of that. Because it's always been that kind of elephant in the room. There's two Karas in the world, and one's kind of lost. How do you address that? And I don't know if it's ever been done, but this is the first time I've seen that it kind of addressed in a specific room. So I really dug it.
At least
I'm
in a
loving
major
this
way.
backup. Yeah. I did actually look up stuff with Hamilton County. So the stuff with California, apparently, and I forgot about this, they did have a home in California. It was raided by Intergang, and then they moved to Hamilton County.
Yes, and I went back to issue 1051, and I think that's why I was thinking of it, because they moved back to their old house, but that's the house that they were in when they were in California, so they're back in California right now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Like Lois literally says back in California for real. But even if Hamilton County is in Metropolis, I mean, I know there are rural areas in, northern cities. I'm in one, but I don't recall them having like I don't know. It's just so weird to me.
It was, yeah, it's still kind of weird.
Like I said,
Especially since I
played
was
sports
looking up the
talking like a
location.
hayseed.
And Hamilton County is
Yeah.
apparently like north of Metropolis.
Yeah. Maybe he's
Yeah.
like,
Very well then.
do you guys know Seraphin from the New Gods?
Uh-huh.
I know the name, but I could not
Um,
place it.
Or yeah, Wait, no, sorry, not from the. Well, he is a New God, but he's from the Forever people. But he's like the kid who dresses in like cowboy clothes and does like a Southern accent or a Western
Okay.
accent. Maybe it's like that. Like John just saw a lot of Western movies and decided he wanted to have that accent too.
At the same time, like his dad grew up in Kansas on a farm. I don't know if they have actual Southern accents in Kansas, but like
Yeah.
if he ever really adopted that accent and like living on a farm or living off the land, he just kind of went back into that Kansas drawl. Maybe John just picked it up from that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. All in all, for the whole issue, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Already on, Wayne.
Yeah. Party on, Garth. And we are going to party on with Harley Quinn, because that's how you fucking party.
That is how you party.
If anybody
It's
brings the
not a
good
party
drugs,
until
it's
there's a
Harley.
Weird clown princess.
Well, I think if
Exactly.
anyone brings the good drugs, it's going to be Ivy, but Harley will definitely take them.
I mean, Harley's
Right.
going to drag Ivy there. So
That's true.
Ivy might not
That's
want
probably
to
where
go,
she's
but
getting
Harley,
the drugs from.
That's
Harley's
exactly
gonna
it.
be smoking weed, and Ivy's bringing the psychedelics.
Yeah, Ivy's bringing
But-
the crazy mushrooms, the good stuff.
right? Crazy mushrooms.
The
That'll give you
lamia
a high
spores.
like you'll never believe. Because
This
you'll be
stuff's
with the
gonna
green.
put you in touch with the green, man.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Which is why Harley smokes weed.
One day we're gonna have to read. I think it's Swamp Thing like 54 or 57. It's the issue where Swamp Thing comes to Gotham, and there's this page where Swamp Thing like leaves all these sweet potatoes around Gotham City, and all the people just start eating them, and it gives them wild hallucinations. But there's this one page in particular where a cop eats it, and he's like, oh, a sweet potato, oh, whatever, and then he's like, hey Dan, like his cop partner or whatever, he's like, Dan, you're looking real good today. Oh man, yeah.
Who?
I mean,
Like,
they did it in Swamp Thing Part 2, the movie as well. They had a hallucinogenic scene
Yeah.
in there. Don't
Yeah.
watch that movie. But I just want to address that since you brought it up. Who in the fuck just eats randomly placed sweet potatoes?
I was just gonna
I
say
don't
that.
know. I don't
That's
know.
really
Randomly
weird.
placed anything, but I mean that's neither here nor there. Just
And it
Yeah,
was in
I
a
mean,
city.
kids,
I mean,
kids, if you're out there
you would
listening,
think.
don't eat strange sweet potatoes.
If
Broke
I
the
remember
bank, okay?
correctly, they were like, oh, we gotta, I don't know, like check it out and make sure it's okay. But it's like, why would you eat it? Like, send it back to the lab for
Gotta eat
it,
analysis
make sure it's
or
okay to
whatever.
eat it.
Don't eat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If I die, call the
Let me
cops.
find that page and send it to you. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. That's fucking wild. So, speaking of psychedelic trips, this is Harley Quinn number 27, the last issue of this creative team, and the final chapter of Who Killed Harley Quinn. And you know it is the final issue of the run and the story arc because they go through on the first page all the other story arcs they did and the themes therein, leading us to where we left off in issue 26 with the gang of multiversal Harleys surrounding the Harley who laughs, or whatever we're calling her, with a ivy,
It's Harley who
a poison ivy from somewhere in the universe, somewhere in the multiverse, chained up. After a brief discussion about whose ivy it really is, Harley who cries just yells at everybody to shut up and threatens to kill Ivy until Harley Prime, Earth Zero Harley, I guess I'll call her, it just says,
Prime
okay,
works, I like
maybe.
it.
Sorry, Harley Prime.
I like it.
Yeah,
We
Harley
had a
Prime.
Superboy
Yeah,
Prime. Why can't we have
Yeah.
a Harley Prime?
Harley Prime. Why not? So Harley Prime decides to maybe go about things a little differently after realizing that, every Harley has an ivy, but where is this Harley's ivy? This ivy seems to be missing, and this Harley seems to be distraught. So after a brief discussion about it and convincing Batwoman and Old Woman Harley to go along with the plan, the
Old
Harley
Lady
who
Harley.
cries, yeah, I think that's what they
Get
called
it
her,
right.
right? Old lady Harley. Oh, did I say Old Woman Harley?
Mhm.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, my bad.
that.
Old lady Harley. Jump on board with the plan, and then the Harley who cries, because I think Harley who laughs is just kind of weird. Harley already laughs. This version's got to be opposite. So the Harley who cries decides to go along with it as well and brings them to her home world. Thanks to Harley freezing time because, meta commentary, and taking the multiversal transporter out of the back pouch of the Harley who cries. Taking both of those Harleys plus Old Lady Harley to this dark, desolate world where they are instantly met with psychotic, demonic, jokerized people, which are apparently the inhabitants of this world. And they have a big brouhaha fight with the three Harleys taking out all the jokerized people, or clown people, whatever you want to call them, with Harley who cries, chaining people down, very reminiscent of Ghost Rider. A lot of Ghost Rider this week in DC Comics. as they try to interrogate one of the clowns that they left conscious to give details as to the whereabouts of this universe's Ivy, not Harley, as to this universe's Ivy. But we do not get to see it because apparently the Harley who cries is going to be deadly. But apparently the guys spilled the beans anyway, and then they make their way to a dark castle full of spikes because why the hell not? It's 90s rific, and then we do not get to see the inside because, as Harley Prime says, look, we could have shown you the torture, but this you just can't see. We're gonna go crazy. We see people on fire, some guy then thrown out of a window, and then the top floor blowing up as they reach the top, and they open the door to find yet another giant, fat, demonic, Jokerized person who was instantly roped. I was gonna say warped up, roped up by a vine, and it is none other than this universe's Ivy. The two are reunited and embraced with a kiss as Harley Prime and Old Lady Harley kind of have different opinions about the situation, but they head on back to the Prime universe, Earth Zero.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. As they then send all the other Harleys back to their respective universes, and Old Lady Harley embraces Harley Prime in a hug as they go their separate ways with a tear. And then Harley realizes of all the things that she's been trying to find a home, she realizes her home is her, and by her she means Ivy. And as we see, Mermaid Harley is still around, and nobody untied Victor Zsasz. Because fuck Victor Zsasz, really. He's a psychotic serial killer. I think it was a really good ending, and I know it was an ending because they told me it was an ending like 10 times throughout the issue. The meta commentary was a nice touch and wrapped things up succinctly, I believe, while leaving a door or two open for exploration down the road if anybody wants to pick it up, or if Stephanie Phillips just feels like writing more Harley. I liked it. All in all, well done. The run had its ups and downs for me, but I think this final story arc was quite nice, and I think was a well celebrated run.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed just all the commentary from Harley throughout the issue, even though she just kept, like, it was kind of annoying how much she kept bringing up that it's an ending. Like, we get it, it's an ending, but it was fun. It was different. It was breaking the fourth wall to a new degree, and I really liked it. 8.75 out of 10. And before you guys continue, I did not do the credits at the beginning. This is written, as I said, by Stephanie Phillips with art from Matteo Lolli and David Baldeon, colors from Rain Barreto, letters from Andrew Design, and a wonderful cover from John Boy Meyers.
Yeah, no, I agree with you pretty much in every regard. While not a perfect run, and admittedly I kind of dropped out at various points, I think it's probably I mean, maybe not the best way you could end it, but certainly, I don't know, certainly maybe one of the more entertaining ways you could end it. A big kind of multiversal story that wrapped up about as good as you could hope for, and I think now's the perfect time to kind of move into a new era of Harley. So I'm excited for the new creative team that's coming on, especially the art from Sweeney Boo.
Oh yeah, I
But
love me
nice
some
way to
Sweeney
end it,
Boo.
and I mean, oh yeah, no, that should be good. But yeah, I think it's just about a nice way to end it, and maybe it won't be the most iconic run of Harley in the history of Harley, but you know, it's nice enough, and I think it's a good way to close this chapter. So I gave this a respectable 7.5 out of 10.
All right, all right, all
Very well.
right. And well, for me, this is quintessential Harley, and the crazy
Nice.
amount of breaking the fourth wall that happens here is just awesome to me. I loved it. It fully embraces the craziness of Harley, and I dig it, man. Normally, I would complain about how irregular a book is and how details were left out in a massive fashion. However, it was done just right in this book. Uh, The art is beyond phenomenal, and I can't stress that enough. This is one of my favorite iterations of Harley, the way she is now, and the way that she's drawn. I love this, and I want to read more. I am honestly bummed out, even though I was the one that was behind wanting to dump Harley back when Stephanie Phillips took over, but that was largely because of Riley Rosmo. This, however, is total different ball game, and it gets a very easy 9 out of 10 for me.
Right on.
Nice.
Fair enough. Yeah, who is it that's taking over next issue? Do we
It's
remember?
Teeny Howard and Sweeney Boo.
Oh,
Right,
is it Teeny
okay.
Howard? Fuck yeah, man. I was sitting
Yeah,
here
that's
thinking,
gonna be
who would
good.
be good with Sweeney Boo? Teeny Howard. Hell yeah. She's going to
Right
need a
on.
lot of coffee, though, man.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I'm more reserved. Yeah, we'll see. I think she can be good sometimes and not so good other times.
Yeah, we'll see.
But,
Hopefully,
anyway,
hopefully this is good.
Boy, you
Yeah, we'll see.
Before we continue, just a news drop that has been announced an hour ago. I know I keep bringing up toys, but if you guys are interested, Josh, I know you might be very interested in this. The next wave that McFarlane is dropping is Nightfall.
Oh,
Are we
fuck.
not sponsored by
yeah.
McFarlane?
Yeah, and the first two figures they revealed is Batman with a blue cape and cowl, and
Of course.
the Robin Reborn Tim Drake costume. It looks
Ooh,
friggin'
Wait, actually,
awesome.
now I have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna send this to you right now. This Tim Drake looks
Yeah.
really cool.
How are you
complete
not
with
sponsored by
stuff.
McFarlane? You've literally just been doing so
I
much
don't know.
advertising for them.
I know.
This
it's
is like when
just-
I was pimping out all the Comixology books.
I should get in contact. Like, hey, I might
really
be doing
should.
business for you guys.
Like honestly, and they could
Yeah.
just pay you in action figures. You wouldn't complain.
Oh man, I would
Jesus
love that.
Christ, Hell no.
Yeah. Fuck. Give me that last John Stewart I'm missing, and I'm happy.
Oh
All
my
right,
God,
yes.
I'm looking at
So,
it. And, oh,
It doesn't
Jesus,
it look
this is
good?
so
If you follow the link, the photo after it is the Batman, which it doesn't look as cool as the Robin, but it still looks kind of cool. Which I figured
Ooh,
the
that is a beaut.
yeah, and these waves usually have a Build-A-Figure, so I would assume that we're going to get Asbats as well, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
They
just
really should have
typed
just
in-
done a Bane build a figure. That would make sense.
Yeah, I think Bane would be the Build-A-Figure, and then we're gonna get because there's 4
Yeah,
figures in the
because if
wave.
it's Nightfall,
usually.
that's. I mean. So is this? Oh my God, that Batman is gorgeous.
right.
Wow, that was like such I mean, I just like the cowl sculpt is
Yeah.
incredible. Oh my!
The
I mean,
cape
you know
looks
how much
amazing.
I love the yellow oval suit. So this is
Mhm.
like just
And
total
it
fan
comes with a
service.
batarang
Oh,
too,
man.
like a classic style batarang. I like
Oh
that.
my God. Oh, okay. I have not done figure buying in a while, but these Batman and Robins are definitely gonna be pickups because I
There
need
you
these
go.
elves. Like that would
I'm
look
I'm
so
happy to
good
help.
together.
It does.
And that's
It
like
would
my
look so
favorite
cool.
era of Batman. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
can't I'm googling the shit
Oh,
out of
and,
this, and the only
I
one
mean,
that I can
okay,
find
this is
Azrael
such
and
a
Catwoman.
Yeah, this is such a minor detail, but
Wait,
I
really?
love that they got this. But they have if you look at Tim's cape, around where his neck is, they have like these yellow stripes, and that is like to a T exactly how it looks in the comic. That is
Hell
such a
yeah.
precise detail.
Why can't I find
That
the
Batman, oh my
Batman one?
God.
Well, I
That's
sent it
gorgeous.
to
It's on their
you
Instagram
guys
page.
in our chat, Josh.
Ooh,
I see
yeah.
the Catwoman you're looking at. I don't know if that's oh shit, it probably is part of the same wave. Yeah, release date 2023. So yeah, Catwoman in the purple costume, and that is Azrael Batman will be the last one. But it looks like maybe
Yes.
not a Build-A-Figure because they're Gold Label series, which is a shame.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah, that
you know,
is a shame.
Build-A-Figure Bane would be amazing.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I'm looking at the
Yeah.
Azrael one, and it is It's cool. It's comic book
Uh,
accurate,
Oh
and it's
man,
$100.
yeah. You know what I really
Yeah.
want? Just this era of Batman. They have Batman and Robin, obviously, and I'm sure they have an Alfred figure out there somewhere. But what I really want is he was such a minor character, but he was a part of the '90s Batman era. Do you guys know Harold? Who's like the mechanic for the Batmobile?
Yes, I do. I remember
Hunchback that
him.
Oh
Batman saved.
yeah. I keep forgetting about
Yes,
him.
and I really like just to complete that era. I would just love to have a figure of Harold.
That'd be cool.
It's just me, right?
That would
Only
be cool.
Batman and Robin are on the Instagram page.
Yeah, yeah. They haven't.
All right.
I'm looking even lower down. They haven't posted it on Instagram yet, as far as I
Well,
know.
you can find if you can find Catwoman and the Azrael figurine online if you Google it, and they look
Yeah.
great too.
People are talking about it in the comment section, so it's definitely a thing. Oh, here we go. 8 weeks ago is Catwoman. So maybe they did post it because I'm looking at their reels now.
Mhm.
So
Although this isn't the
yeah.
first time they've done a Catwoman figure of this suit. I think they had one a couple years back, the Jim Ballant design.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I
So
can find
good.
it.
Yeah, well, there you go. So
Yes.
there's some interesting looking figures. Looks
So
good.
I guess I need to come up with $500.
If you pre-order them, because I got my Blue Lantern Kyle from the McFarlane store, and it was like $40. Right, so
Well,
if you pre-order it
Azrael
on
is
the
at
store,
Walmart, and it's $100.
that's Walmart.
Mm.
Actually, yeah, I think Kyle was McFarlane store exclusive, so maybe that's the issue.
Yeah, I see the Catwoman that
Oh
you're
my
talking about.
God.
You shared it in Discord. That one looks cool. It does.
Yeah, that's an
Mhm.
older one. That's because
Yeah.
that design, that Catwoman suit is the Jim Ballant suit, and they've done figures. I've seen those before. They've done figures of that design in the past. I think that one's from like 2018 or something. But it's not a newer one. I think the McFarlane one honestly looks a little better. But
Yeah.
Me too, especially in the abdomen area. It looks wicked. It'll be a post.
yeah,
Love it.
All right. Yeah. So that was just a little interlude with the news that I just saw. I'm happy you guys
sponsored
enjoyed
by
it.
McFarlane.
God, I wish. I would not have space for all the toys they'd pay me for,
Yeah,
or pay me
I'm
enough.
definitely picking
Yeah,
up that Batman and Robin though. That is too good.
definitely. It looks amazing.
Hurts my eyes.
All right.
Like
For any
I
listeners
need
out
it.
there
I
that
need it
would like
now.
to get me the Nightfall series, I will not be able to afford it, and I would really like to have it. So feel free to
Yeah.
donate
Oh man.
$500 at buymeacoffee.com/NAR podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I'm trying to find it on the McFarlane store, see if there's anything. Apparently, there's
Interesting. I'm
a
going through the
DC vs
comments.
Vampires Batman gold label.
Oh yeah. I'm going through the comments and someone noted that I guess they're doing some of the Young Justice 4 characters, or it seems like they are because they just did Impulse and now they're doing Robin, and I think they're hoping that they're gonna get a new version of either Cassie or Connor,
That'd be cool.
which yeah, I would that would be very nice.
Well, now that we're done snooping around on the internet to try to find these figures,
Yeah,
as
let's
detectives.
we'll get on with our last issue, which, conveniently speaking of Batman, is Detective Comics number 1069. Which, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Detective Comics where Nightfall started? Like, wasn't the first issue of Nightfall in Detective Comics?
I do believe so. I think you're
Yeah.
right there.
So it all comes
Other
full
than-
circle. And Brandon is going to tell us about this issue.
Yes, I will. Hopefully, if you guys can hear me, I don't know. It was cutting out
Yes.
a little bit, but Yes, this is Detective Comics 1069, Hold Your Laughter, written by Ram V with art from Dexter Soy, Stefano Raphael, and Miguel Mendonça doing the art with, I knew you'd like that, with colors from Adriano Lucas and letters from Ariana Mar. The Ten-Eyed Man under threat from Two-Face has healed Batman, but not before using his many, many eyes to take a peek behind Batman's proverbial curtain and see some mysteries that are festering under the surface. There are a couple of those that we have seen or we sort of already know, but some which are yet to come, which may reveal the future of Batman that may be sooner than you think. Two Face, hearing that the Orgum goons are coming for Batman, decides to jet, but not before revealing that he now knows that Batman and Bruce Wayne are one, and basically leaves him with a threat that if you come for him, he will come for you. So it seems that the Two-Face persona, or the big bad horror persona, as I will always call it, has asserted its full dominance, at least in this situation, and is now running the show. Batman is able to escape from Dr. Mead's office and narrowly escape the Orgums before heading over to Jim Gordon's place, where he can hopefully find some solace as the Orgums and their goons reconvene and plan their next steps. Specifically, they're hoping to finally find a way to cut off Gotham from Batman or Batman from Gotham. Either way, just as long as he stops being a nuisance, which currently he really is. Over at GCPD headquarters, Montoya and one of the patrol officers are having a little tete-a-tete about the effectiveness of the Organ plans in Gotham, how they've reduced crime, but how it may not necessarily be a good thing. Montoya, of course, arguing against the beat cop going for the Orgums. Momentarily, she contemplates going out in her question persona, but decides against it because she's commissioner and that would be irresponsible. So decides to put out a call to Eric Wells, one of the officers that we met over in GCPD The Blue Wall, and sees if he can come down to his office. Over at Bullock and Gordon's private investigations, Jim and Batman are having a heart-to-heart. Jim really kind of touching on the fact that Bruce is, as Josh I'm sure is pleased to note, is getting older and is not really sure how much longer he can do this, especially given the fact that his body is just getting more and more beaten the hell out of. But Batman, being as stubborn as he is, does not take Jim's advice and, in typical Batman fashion, leaves Jim talking to himself before he jumps out of the window in a very cool 5-panel sequence. He makes his way through the city with Oracle giving a little narration on where he's supposed to be. But before he can take any decisive action and head towards the sewers to uncover the mystery of these ley lines that have popped up under Gotham City, Oracle informs her that she already has a Batgirl on the case, one who is investigating them. And we see exactly what the Orgum goons may actually have in store for the people they've been kidnapping from the Narrows. And we actually get a fun little peek at some old friends of ours. I'm forgetting their names. I think they were called the Strays from Ram V's run on Catwoman, who are currently trapped with many of the other people who've been kidnapped with the Narrows. Though thankfully, one of those Strays, Shoes, is able to escape and get away to hopefully get some help before she has a rather unfortunate encounter with Solomon Grundy. And that is where our main story ends this week. I'm still super in love with this run. I will admit this issue was a little, I don't want to say disjointed, but it did feel like it was jumping around a lot. And I think that's just because there were 3 different art teams and 3 different perspectives. We were going from Bruce, the Orgum family, to Montoya, and it just felt like it was kind of juggling a lot, which doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but it kind of felt a little disjointed, especially since we've really been focusing on the Orgums and Bruce.
Felt
so
like reading
that
a TV
kind of
show.
Yeah, but it's like an episode where it's jumping back and forth for multiple characters. Sometimes that can work, sometimes not so well. This was sort of right in the middle. In terms of art, I think all the teams here are pretty good. The only problem I had was all of these artists are great in their own right. I just don't think they flow together because they all have very different styles. So you have Miguel Mendonça, it's a very action style. So does Dexter Soy, but they're different kinds of action. And it felt like it wasn't very cohesive, at least art wise, even though each artist killed their respective section. But yeah, aside from that, I mean, kind of a jumpy issue and art inconsistencies, or I guess art cohesion consistency, however you want to call it. Still had a good time with it, and still looking forward to how we're going to progress next. I don't know how the hell Grundy is going to fit into this narrative, but I guess we'll wait and see. We've been getting a lot of strange cameos. We got the Ten-Eyed Man and all different kinds of people. So who knows how Grundy will fit into this? But I'm still interested. So I gave this an 8.25 out of 10.
It's gonna end
The
on a
main story.
Sunday.
I mean.
Hmm. I would like to point out that Grundy was also part of that Arkham City story.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it makes sense. I know that. Well, I don't have to go into that, but
Yeah.
I can understand why Ron B is picking stuff from the Arkham City mini.
Order of the Wo- Order of the World was a really good book.
Hmm.
Was.
I'm glad to see elements get picked up from that. As far as the first part of the book goes, dude, a lot of people don't dig this about Ramvi, but the poetic narration throughout the first part of this story is something I just can't get over, but in a good way. It is perfect Ramvi, and I just gobbled up every second of it. I don't understand a couple of things, such as Jim Gordon not knowing who that Bruce Wayne is Batman, but I mean that's pretty established at this point, so I guess I'm gonna let it go. But I'm just assuming that this is a result of either Infinite Frontier or somehow it was undone and did it in a different way. Whatever. I can't hold a faulty memory against the creative team, so I won't. And honestly, the story and the mystery going on in it's it's just great if that word even comes close to enough to describe it. Detective Comics is a detective comic again, and I could not be happier about that. I do know, and remember that I said it would be great if Batman wasn't the star of this show, and I still feel that way. But when the detective story is this good, the people involved really don't matter as long as they're done right. Or at least who is involved matters a little less. I didn't mind jumping back and forth with the art, and normally it's jarring, but it's jarring to me if it's all one flat story. And like I said before, it was almost like reading a TV show, and it reminded me of what the hell is it called? Um, I hate Kevin or something. Or Kevin Can Fuck Off. That's what it was called.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, Kevin Can Fuck Himself, which is a
yeah,
great show, by the way.
fantastic show where the parts where Kevin is at, it's all bright and shiny, and then the parts
Oh
without
yeah, yeah.
Kevin,
I see what you
it's
mean.
like
Yeah.
dramatic and stuff, and that kind of felt like what was going on here. I dug it, man. If I was gonna individually score this, I would have given this part an 8.75 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely some deep stuff going on still. Still have no idea where this is going. Bruce looks like he's not going to make it out of this in one piece. Two Face knowing what he knows is a very interesting hiccup. I look forward to seeing where that would go from here. And the thing with Gordon, I want to point out, I think it is an established thing that he most likely knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne. He's been a detective all his life in his own right. There's no way he hasn't figured it out by now. But at the same time, I think
Yeah.
he's also thinking like he feels Batman is his own personal hero. They have that camaraderie, they have that friendship, and Batman is his idol in a way. So even if he does know Bruce's identity, he's not gonna let that on. He's gonna just pretend he doesn't know and just keep that image alive. That Batman is not a
Fair
man;
enough.
he is an ideal that everyone should strive towards. Because I think he even says in I don't remember the exact wording, but he does say something along the lines of Batman is a myth or something like that. And that's why even though Bruce is basically
Yeah.
broken, Batman must live on. So,
Yeah, no, he
still
says
like,
yeah, he says something like that, and he's like, Batman is a myth, but the man behind the mask is, man behind the myth is still a man, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that man can also get the shit kicked out of him and potentially die. So
Yeah.
think about that man occasionally.
Yeah.
Or
Um,
get his back broken and then turn into an action figure. A
Yes.
$100 action figure.
That we can all be so lucky.
I Catwoman is $20 though on the McFarlane store
Yeah.
if you want Catwoman.
I want them all.
Yeah.
I want Batman,
Um,
Robin,
I know.
like any
They're
normal
actually
American boy.
they're not on the store yet. I think because they just got
Well,
announced.
when they
but I
are
imagine
on
they'll
the
be up.
store, I want them. Yeah.
I'll let you know. You got to pre-order like really fast though. I imagine they'll go quickly. And it looks like there might be another announcement later tonight because they said a few more things when they posted the Robin post, and then there was just Batman so far.
Ooh.
So there might be more to come later tonight. I'll keep you guys posted.
All right.
Yeah, I think I said
Yeah,
all to
there
say
should be
about the
Nightwing
main
has
story
gotta
though.
be showing up too.
Maybe.
Oh my god. Which, you know what that means, right? If Nightwing shows up as part of this set, it's going to be the 90s Nightwing. And I'm not
Yeah,
talking like the blue suit with the finger stripes. I'm talking horrible,
gold.
horrible design with the gold
Yeah.
and the blue. But I want it so
Disco
bad.
Wing.
I want it so bad. Yeah, no, not even disco,
Disco
wing. It's like
Wing.
90s disco.
No, it's like
Yeah.
post disco wing, but pre.
Yeah, it's
blue
post
suit,
disco
blue
wing,
and black.
pre blue stripes.
When he had
And
that
and
weird gold
this is the
flake
best
on
part.
his chest.
Yeah, this is the best part. This is the part that's gonna make you smile from ear to ear. If that
I already am.
happens, that also means that they have to do it with a ponytail, and I cannot wait.
Yep.
Oh, God.
You're right.
It's
Oh,
gonna
God,
be
you're right.
so terrible, but I need it.
Good. I'm gonna double check right now that they haven't posted it.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right,
nothing yet, but I
Brandon,
will let you
wanna
know,
hit
Brandon,
us
if
up
it
with
shows
that?
up.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
that for both of us, please.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah. Let's move on to our backup.
Our backup.
Yes, our backup for
Or backup. I felt left out.
Detective Comics, Cy Spurrier or Cy Spurrier with art from Casper Weingard. So I always love to see with letters from Steve Wands. This is a fairly straightforward one, a short one, but this follows Dr. Annabelle Mead, who we met not too long ago in our Two-Face backups, and sees her in a rather precarious situation, having tried to escape from Gotham City after everything that happened with Two-Face, only to wind up in the clutches of Mr. Freeze. And as Doc says, she thinks she might be cursed. I think she's just has the shittiest luck that you could possibly have in all of Gotham City. One of the two. But she is in the clutches of Freeze, who seems to be disassociating from everything that's going on in his life, particularly everything that has happened with Nora. And it's a rather unfortunate time as some of the Asmers choose to attack his underground cave. Mr. Freeze makes quick work of them and continues to ignore Annabelle Mead's advice, but not before doing a little bit of human experimentation on Doc Mead and trying to see if the cold technology that he used to cure Nora really induces madness, which, as we will see, may or may not do so. But Doc Mead gets a little bit of a visitor towards the end that could potentially be related to the madness or could be something else infesting the city. We're not really sure. All we have to go on is that this strange creature that seems to be haunting Doc Mead goes by the name of Earworm. Simon Spurrier and the artist that he's attached to, in this case Casper Weingart, continue to give me books that I wish I could read outside of a backup, but I can't because I would eat the shit out of a Mr. Freeze, Simon Spurrier, Casper Weingart book. That would be absolutely incredible. But I guess we'll just have to settle for this now. Honestly, they should do a G book or something like that and just have him do a bunch of Gotham villains. It's total fan service, but I would not be opposed to it. But anyway, no, this continues to be an incredible series of backups, and I was very pleased with the story and the art for this. I don't even know where the story is gonna go, but I'm all in. So looking forward to that. But this one got an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
man. In the second part of the story, where we're at right now, Mr. Freeze, he's in there with Annabelle Mead, walking around, talking to his dictation recorder. He says that where they are is at minus 459.67 degrees. How is Annabelle Mead even still alive?
Not a popsicle. Yeah, I thought
Right.
about that
I mean,
too.
so it's like explained away in one bubble, and Spurrier. This isn't typical of him, but the only thing I can think of is the way that Freeze says that when things are this cold, the rules of reality are unwritten. That's a bit of a stretch for me. It's a hell of a hard pill to swallow. Freeze is definitely living in denial, thinking that it was the cryogenic chamber that he kept Nora in that caused brain damage. Nah, man, she just got fucking sick of your shit. I mean, she flat out told you she doesn't love you anymore, dude. I have no idea what the hell Earworm is supposed to be. Like, evil in the music or something, but he looks cool as shit, and I do want to know more. I would have given the backup. It's short. That science thing was a little weird, but I would have given the backup an 8. The art in both parts of this book I really enjoyed. The second part is interesting, but I'll have to see more of that before I can say that it's great. It's just starting, so let's see where it goes. It's still really enjoyable in both sections, and of course, I am looking forward to more. So, I'm going to give the whole book an 8.25 out of 10.
Right on. I found the backup very interesting. I would love to see more about that. I am curious if Mr. Freeze is going to be the focus going forward, or if it's going to be the good doctor, psychiatrist whose name escapes me, dealing with the earworm, Dr. Mead, right? That was kind of on the fence for me. I see what you're talking about with the temperature thing, though, but when I was reading that, I took it as he was just talking about absolute zero. And that when he freezes somebody, like she was frozen later, that's the temperature that would get to. Not necessarily the temperature in the room at the time, but that's the temperature that she would need to be at in order to reach that cryogenic stasis.
Okay, I guess that's
like scientific jargon, yeah.
Loose comic science, 12 parsecs,
So I don't specifically remember myself like the actual temperature for absolute zero, but I think that was pretty close to it, if that's not like the absolute zero. So yeah, who knows? As he said, comic book science, it's not all real. Yeah, all in all, for the full issue, I gave an 8.75 out of 10. Definitely a satisfying read.
For sure, man. For sure.
Mm-hmm. Have we all given scores and reviews
for the whole book? I do believe so.
I was the leftover. Okay, so yeah, we are now going to go into our top 3 books of the week and favorite moment if you had one. Brandon, you want to set us off?
My pleasure. At number 3, I have Stargirl: The Lost Children, and I have Detective Comics, and at number 1, to no surprise, I'm sure, Action Comics 1052. Still just really loving this book, and just kind of along for the ride and waiting to see where it all heads towards. But my favorite moment of this week, I mean, there were so many great panels and moments in Action Comics, but the small little exchange between Keenan and Connor, where Connor is he feels like his pride has been wounded after he got his ass handed to him by Metallo, and Clark is checking in, and Keenan just like snickers in the corner, and he's like, "Hey, I could take him anytime." And it's like, "Yeah, sure." I thought that was very funny. So that was my favorite moment.
Hey, Josh, hey, toi.
I am gonna go with number 3. I am going to give to Batman versus Robin. I thought that was really good. Number 2, Harley Quinn. I fucking loved it so much. And number 1, Undisputable. Just keeps on being solid platinum or something, chromium. I don't know, some rare fucking metal from a meteorite. It's that good. Action Comics. And my favorite moment is it's in Harley, and it's part of Harley's narrative in the beginning of the book that says, point is, endings aren't that hard as long as you don't suddenly undo years of character development or murder a ton of people with a dragon or spend years leading up to a big reveal only to give the audience no answers about a mysterious island all the characters have been trapped on. Holy shit. I feel like Stephanie Phillips listens to me on this podcast. At least we share the same opinion. While a lot of people might not like that little slam against other writers in DC, I could not agree more. Plus, that little slam was pretty funny to read. I fucking loved it, and that one took away my favorite moment this week.
I thought that was a slam on Lost,
Yeah.
like the TV show.
I think it's more than just that. At least I'm seeing a slam here against, I'm going to say, long as you don't undo years of character development, anybody that's written Batman, but specifically Tynan, murder a ton of people with a dragon, Tom Taylor, spend years leading up to a big reveal only to give the audience no answers. That would be both. That would be William.
That could be a lot of people.
That would be a lot of. I don't. I was taking it differently
because Nick Spencer on Spider-Man.
Oh God. Let's not get into that.
Years building up Kindred to literally have it be absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I have not read any Spider-Man since Dark Web ended, and I don't know if I'll continue.
Yeah.
No, I was taking it differently again because she was talking about TV. So like the thing with the dragons and character development, I thought that was Game of Thrones, and then the thing with the island, I thought that was Lost. That's how I took it anyway.
Yeah, I thought you were talking Lost too.
I was thinking before I thought about that, I was like, oh, they're talking about writers too. So maybe I don't know.
I prefer my version because it gives me validation. And it makes me feel like somebody out there shares the same opinion as I do.
That's fair. Honestly,
it
could go either way.
Lonely, man.
Could be both. Could be a double-edged sword. As for my top 3, though, number 3 I had Harley Quinn, number 2 I had Detective Comics, and number 1 I had Stargirl: The Lost Children. Sleeper hit of the week for me. And favorite moments still, honestly, was seeing Metalo getting punched into space with a vengeance. I thought that was pretty cool. Superman just, he's not fucking around. Okay, now you're gone. Bye-bye. All right. Yeah. See ya. So that is our favorite moments. Now it's time for your favorite moments. It is
the biggest thinker.
Oh, that's nasty.
Or at least this one's gonna be.
Yeah. Do we all have the same one?
But well, I mean, I reached out from the honorable mentions.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna have to give it to Turd Drake Robin, hands down.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Yeah. I didn't finish
that last page. I was happy to see that last page. It's a new era for Tim Drake. It damn well better be.
I assume if
Is Fitzmartin still writing?
Yep.
Then it ain't gonna be any goddamn good.
New artist though.
Doesn't matter.
I just don't understand how this book has lasted 6 issues.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. She's not
That makes
written
me
a
angry.
single good issue of Tim Drake.
Yeah.
Not even in, what was it, Urban Legends, where all this shit kicked off, right?
I still didn't mind that story, but that's the only time I enjoyed it.
That was the
I went back
beginning
and
of the
reread
end.
that. It's not bad, but
Yeah. It's
I
not
think
great.
It's
It's not
definitely
bad.
nothing special.
Yeah.
She turned Tim Drake into Turd Drake.
Really started to start everything else.
Brandy, you did cut out a bit. I just wanted to be sure. Tim Drake was your biggest stinker too, yeah?
I think Justice was made.
Yes.
Okay. Right on. Yeah. That's a damn shame. Hopefully it gets better. But for now, that is our show. So remember, you can help support us by going to buymeacoffee.com/NAR podcast. Check us out on Twitter at NotARobotComics. Subscribe to our Substack for bonus reviews, articles, and more. And as always, there's only one way we say goodbye around here. Sami Zayn for WrestleMania. Until next time.
Be good to each other.
And don't be a robot. Man, holy shit. I need these McFarlane figures. I need these McFarlane figures so fucking bad.
No, I
God.
literally need that Batman and Robin in my collection so fucking bad. It hurts.
It looks really cool.
I
I'm
need
gonna
all
check
four
again,
of
see if it
those.
goes to another.
I need all four of those, and if Nightwing has to be the next figure. It wouldn't. Nightwing.
I
was
so hope it is.
big.
And that's
part of-
I'll be
I
honest,
really
that's
need a
if they do
terrible one.
another one. It's just
Yeah.
when they post, so they're doing their winter showcase right now, and this is the final day. And then they did like some anime figures, and they did their Spawn figures today. This is day 3, and then they said, oh wait, a few more things. First look at Tim Drake as Robin 2 hours ago, and then 1 hour ago they did the
Yeah.
first look at Batman, and that's only 2. Last I checked, a few was 3. So don't quote me. I don't know for sure that another one's coming, but like it definitely sounds like it.
Yeah, I so hope it is.
Mm-hmm. And they, like I said, they usually do these figures in waves of 4. And Asbats was the only gold label, so they do a 4-figure wave plus a gold label. So the gold label would be separate.
Yeah.
So if Catwoman is part of it, then there's definitely one more, at least one more.
Yeah. No, I desperately need a terrible 90s Nightwing action figure in my collection.
That would be
That's the
awesome.
one thing I need more than anything else.
It always reminded me of like Judge Dredd's outfit, his costume.
Yeah. Yeah, just missing the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you know if it pops up.
Whew, man.
All right.
I don't know. There's a Dick obviously also has it where he just has like the full mullet, like it's not tied up or anything. And I honestly don't know which one I want. I would say the ponytail because it looks worse, but I wouldn't say no to the mullet either. So McFarlane, I know you won't disappoint. No, just put it out there in the world.
Hopefully not.
It is the mullet. It's parted on the side, and his hair is super duper long.
Yeah. Oh
But,
yeah.
I mean, he's got to
big
be
and
in it.
bushy.
I mean, Nightwing takes over as Batman in this book, so he's got to be a part of it. I'll be disappointed.
I mean, that's the thing,
Yeah.
that
If
Batman
he's
costume,
not.
that Batman figure could technically be Dick Grayson, you know?
That's true, because he does just wear, he just wears the classic suit in Prodigal.
Yeah, they haven't really said that it's Bruce. They just said Batman from Nightfall.
Although, well, that could technically be John Paul Valley too, because I mean, well, they
Oh,
put
yeah,
out
it
the
could be.
Asbat, but you know, for a little while when they were trying to pretend that Jean Paul was Bruce, they just had him wear the classic suit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it didn't take long before he started breaking out into. Did you call it Asbat?
Yeah, I think I don't know if that's the name that fans were giving him in the 90s, but that's the name that fans were giving him during that Detective Comics run in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
As bats.
As
Oh, even
Bats.
on